Good morning. Welcome to HoodChampionBoxing Sports. Hey, something stinks. I'm letting y'all know right now, people. Something doesn't smell good, and we need to be paying attention to what exactly is going on. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Yordenis Ugas versus Barrios. Look, these guys have been ordered to fight for the interim belt over at the WBO. But understand this, right? And I apologize if I have low energy on this Ugas Barrio whole discussion. But I'm going to tell you my concern. Mario Barrios seems to be a good kid, clean fighter, and is making all the changes necessary to really try to get himself in position for a welterweight title, right? But we see he's got himself in position to fight for an interim WBO belt, which is a step closer to getting a piece of, the strap that really matters. But let me tell you something. I don't think Mario Barrios is going to get there because he's not doing like 80% of the other athletes, which is trying to gain, I'm not going to say it's a competitive advantage. I'm going to say it's an unfair advantage. He's not willing to risk his integrity in his boxing career by doing the things that we've seen other fighters do. And I'm just going to say this. With Ugas, I am very disappointed. I found out like 4 months ago that Ugas had brought the guy Angel MEMO Heredia into his camp to help him. Now, for those of you who are saying, well, look, so what? Why are you making a big deal about this? But first of all, I'm not making a big deal. I'm just having a conversation. And I figure you, if you're a true boxing fan, would like to know what some of our favorite boxers are doing, especially a guy like Ugas with such a very nice personality, and how some of us felt like he fought his heart out against Spence. And some people feeling sorry for him because he got his orbital broken. People are feeling sorry for him because he had his house broken into. But what I want to do is say, you have every right to feel how you feel. Just like I have every right to bring you this conversation. But sit back for 5 minutes, be quiet and listen. Now, the reason why it concerns me, Ugas, me finding out he had this guy Heredia in his corner. You guys remember when Ugas finally made it to the United States, right? All of those attempts of leaving Cuba, going back to prison, getting tortured, trying to leave Cuba again. Then it's the same thing, repeat. Prison, torture. Finally got out of Cuba, got across the waters, landed in America, right? Man started his boxing career, was doing pretty good, picked up by Top Rank, ended up hitting a little bit of turbulence in his career, took a couple losses, Top Rank dropped him. The man went into hiding, was in a downward spiral, personal life, career-wise. And then he happened to hook up with somebody, long story short, hooked up with a trainer, the guy he's with now, and supposedly brought his career and his spirit back from the dead. So you look at what he's been able to do since hooking up with this trainer, right? Went on the stretch, undefeated, of an undefeated record, no losses, and really never looked back. But my thing is this, right? How do you get a guy who first 12 or 13 fights, he's looking pretty good, then he takes back-to-back losses, disappears from the sport for a few years, then comes back to the sport. Then all of a sudden, he's faster, more skilled, more powerful, more punch resistance, and just overall, a totally different fighter. Now, don't get me wrong. The man was a Cuban boxer. The man had a very solid skill set. But all I'm saying is, makes me wonder how you can have somebody breathe life back into someone's career and make him into a completely different fighter, a more dominating fighter in all areas, especially in areas where they weren't so dominant And that punch resistance, punching power, those are the two things that really make me go, Now we know Angel Heredia is known for the fruit cocktails. And again, some of those fruit cocktails, probably legal. Some of them maybe illegal. Some of them, it could be where it's a combination. Give you something illegal, then give you something legal that masks the illegal substance, and then you go into a fight and no one will ever know that you had the illegal fruit cocktail. What I'm saying isn't a joke. What I'm saying is real, like what I'm telling you is serious stuff. Okay? There are substances out there that can cover up the more lethal and the stronger PEDs that are out there. And it goes underneath the radar because there's no known, these guys know how to mask it. Now, I'm not saying Ugas is on PEDs. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is you get somebody who came back from the dead, career-wise, spirit-wise, and look at where he's at now. Now, this is the other thing that got my attention. This is why I'm worried about Barrios, right? When Ugas was looking to get ready for a fight with a guy like Spence, that fell with a guy like Spence and a guy like Pacquiao, right? Let me tell you something. Ugas' trainer, Ismail Salas, right? They decided that they were going to actually go public with the fact that Ugas has been using the strength and conditioning coach, Angel MEMO Heredia. Let me tell you something. I never knew that. Now, Heredia has some things to say, okay? In case you didn't know, he was with Ugas for 5 different fights. 5 different fights before going in here against Manny Pacquiao. Did you guys know that? So anyway, this is what MEMO Heredia had to say. He says, the camp's going well. This is our 5th fight together. We had a real good camp versus the Porter and another good camp versus Omar Figueroa. This camp will be more specific for him, said Heredia. So Porter, that's why Ugas looked so dominant against Porter and why he did to Figueroa what he did to Figueroa. Sometimes the way I do camps is based on what the coaches want and what the boxers want. Like if they're trying to add more power, David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, power, Benavidez, breaking jaws, breaking ribs, right? You also have to take into account the opponents and check out how good their conditioning is and what are their weaknesses. I set up a program where lifting is essential. We will concentrate on stamina, a lot of endurance, and speed. Those are things that he will need for this and for all fights. Regardless of the opponent, Heredia expects a great performance by Ugas. With such familiarity between each other, Heredia expects this to be one of the best camps he has ever had. Then Heredia goes on to say, this is going to be a good camp. For sure, it will be an even better camp than we had for our first camp together versus Porter. Ugas is a smart fighter and a strong fighter by nature. He is a big guy, and we are having a good camp together that most likely will give us good results on fight night. Let me tell you something. When you look at the fact that this man is talking about trying to add more power, look into the opponents to check out how good their conditioning is and their weaknesses, then sets up a program. But people, when you see a guy like Heredia involved in the corner with fighters, Conti, that's why I talk so much about it. You know, I just think the opponents they're against, I just don't think they stand a chance. Now, I'm going to tell you, a guy like Earl Spence, he got hurt several times in that Ugas fight from one shot. I've always said I think Earl Spence is a little bit chinny, but maybe Earl Spence is going in there as a clean athlete against guys who may have a little bit of an advantage as a result of some of these different cocktails that these strength and conditioning coaches and nutritionists know how to conjure up. But that being said, I'm very concerned for Barrios in this fight. I think he's going to take another loss. Barrios looked very good in his last fight, very aggressive, the Aztecan warrior. Yo, my man, I really like what I saw in Barrios, but I just think it's all going to come to an end. And it really concerns me when I see these guys with a Heredia, with a Conti, with Alex Ariza, with this Usman Sajjad as of late, his ass in here stirring things up. But I'm telling you, we'll see how things go if Ugas and Barrios actually get into the ring. But that's what's been ordered. They should be fighting in the next couple months. But what I'll say is this. We're going to see this weekend, we're going to see if what I believe proves to be true. Because this weekend you got Plant and Benavidez. And I keep saying that Conti and Heredia are bad medicine. But it is what it is. Plant's been training with Conti for a while. Benavidez has been with Heredia this camp. You're going to see something this weekend, whether it's Plant who pulls it off or Benavidez who pulls it off. That's going to make you say, what did I just see? And I'm telling you, it's going to be as a result of having the guy Heredia in the corner for Benavidez or Conti in there for Plant. They're going to do the unthinkable, the unimaginable. Someone's going to pull it off. I don't know which one. And I think it's a result of having these guys in the corner. I just think it's bad medicine. But you know what? Part of me kind of feels if you're going to be in boxing, 80 to 90% of guys are doing it. Shit, maybe you should do it too. That way you don't end up getting yourself killed in the ring by these fellas who feel they need to bring a Heredia, a Conti, and a Ariza, and Usman Sajjad in the camp to all of a sudden give them this Herculean punch resistance, Herculean stamina, Herculean endurance, Herculean power. If they feel they need that, then I mean they lack a whole lot of confidence in their abilities. But it is what it is. That being said, keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm about to get ready to go exercise. I'm in the breeze.